If you feel called by the Lord to do a specific thing, listen up, okay? So I have this list of books, right? I don't know when I started it, but I just put it in my notes app. Every time I hear a book that I want to read, I put the book list, I put it at the list. What am I trying to say? I put it at the bottom of my book list, right? Because obviously I'm starting from the top. So every time I get a new book, I delete the book that I just bought so I can deplete my list, right? So I'm watching this podcast and this guy on there is talking about his book, and I'm like, this book sounds interesting. I want to get this book. So I look on the list and I'm kind of thinking like, did I already add this book? I look at like towards the bottom of the list and the book's already on there. So I already added his book to my list of books to read. And it got me thinking about how we feel like God has called us to do a particular thing, to say a particular thing, to be with a particular person. Like it could be literally anything. I'm not talking about your hopes and your dreams. I'm not talking about the things that you aspire to. I'm talking about the things that you know God has called you and anointed you for. You are on a particular place on somebody's list and they just have not gotten to you yet. I'm not talking about a man or a woman or marriage in particular. I'm not talking about anything in particular. But God has placed you somewhere on someone's list, spiritually, whatever, and they just haven't gotten to you yet. I know how hard it is to feel called to do something and you want to quit. You want to quit because you're not seeing the results that you thought you were going to see. You're not feeling respected, or you're not feeling appreciated, you're not feeling supported. You got to keep going. And not because you can do it in your own strength, but because God called you to it. If God called you to a thing, it will come to pass as long as you are obedient. That's it, that's all. When God has already said a thing and called you to a thing, that means in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual aspect of that thing, it has already happened. The only thing that we're waiting for is it to come to pass on the earth. So it just made me think about the list of books. You are on somebody's list. You're just not at the top. And I don't mean as in importance or as like where you matter in like a ranking. People go through certain things, people go through certain situations, people go through a certain sanctification process. People have to go on their journey just like you and I have to go on our journeys. So you are in a particular place in somebody's list of things to do, things to see, people to support, people to befriend, people to love. You are in a particular place on that list. If you give up, they're not going to get to you. The book that I saw on that podcast, I'm going to read that book. I have told myself that I'm going to read every single book on this list. I'm just not gotten to that book yet. So if God called you to a thing, I'm going to say it again. If God called you to a thing, not you, not what your parents want, not what your best friend wants, not what your husband wants or your boyfriend or whoever. If God has called you to a thing, be obedient. Do not give up. There is a target audience. There is a particular people that he has graced you for, that you are anointed for, and they just haven't gotten to you yet. Love you. Bye.